Hi, if it's your first time here, welcome to our channel. My name is Yulia and this is Dmitry.
Hello everyone.
We're talking about fragrances here, and if that's something that you enjoy, we'll be more than happy if you'll subscribe to our channel. Today we'll talk about fragrances by Artisanal fragrance house Areej Le Doré. It's the newest release, and we're very happy that we have this sample set here and are very excited to tell you our early impressions.
It's the 7th collection from Artisanal. It's called the History of Attar Collection in spray format. It has a beautiful presentation. I think it's my most favorite presentation of sample set that I have seen. There is another beautiful box. It reminds us of kind of leather, yes. Beautiful, and inside there is a pillow here, soft, very high quality materials used, I believe. There is a card with the description of this collection and each one of the fragrances. Well, we were very excited to sample these fragrances, and I bought this sample set for $88. It was a $65 sample set and $23 delivery from Netherlands to Latvia, and I paid for $88. I paid 94 with something euros, which is I find very expensive. Now euro is not good.
Less than dollar, yeah.
Yeah. And we actually don't like that. Well, the whole set was available for $1,500 with a discount on Areej Le Doré site, but it's not available anymore. So Artisanal will release these fragrances separately soon. We believe, we don't know when, but we have a sample set now, so we'll decide which ones we want to buy. So let's start with a fragrance called L'Amitié. It's a fragrance which contains a single note of dry clay. Artisanal's description is single note composition created by the unique traditional Indian method of distilling dry clay in a copper pot. L'Amitié is not a perfume, but rather a bottled emotion that represents the moment of first raindrops hitting the dry clay soil. Well, it definitely smells like dry, a little bit dusty clay, yeah, and for us it's not the scent of rain, because where we live, the smell of rain for us is this smell of wet concrete, asphalt, maybe wet grass and leaves, yeah, something like that. We haven't too much clay in our country, so it's maybe this only remind for people who live in countries where is a lot of clay on the ground, yeah, and
yes,
and a very hot climate.
Artisanal says that it's a very special perfume for him, but we have to say that for us, we don't have such deep emotions as he does about this fragrance, because for example, I would really love to try a fragrance that smells like the after the rain, because for me it's also a very special smell that I really love.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is not it, because we live in a different place, we have a different environment and different materials surrounding us, so it doesn't represent this for me. So to me it's a smell of something that I have no associations with, so it doesn't really touch my soul that much, and I think it could be a very nice experience for people who live in that climate, who live in that area, for people who have deep associations with that kind of smell. But for Europeans, for people who don't live close to that area, I think for us guys, it's not going to be something too special. So yeah, I would not suggest this fragrance for everyone, and it's also not very long lasting. Adam says himself that it's not a very long lasting fragrance. It's like an experience. On my skin it lasted about an hour, and
on my also.
And I have to say that I smell this sort of rough leather accord when I smell this fragrance. It might be a very unpopular opinion or unpopular associations, but that's what I'm getting when I smell that. And that's basically everything that I have to say here.
Well, I don't get any leather accord. I get this clay, something like porcelain maybe, this dusty, dry, a little bit, a touch of wetness in it, and actually on my skin it develops a little bit. It becomes a little bit more sweeter before it's gone. It's quite an interesting experience, but I wouldn't buy a full bottle of this fragrance, even as it costs only $75. Yeah, I don't see myself wearing it. I don't know, but it's a good smell. It's not a bad smell, but it doesn't move me. I don't know. So it's the cheapest one from the collection. All fragrances are coming in sprayable bottles in 48 milliliters each. The next one will be Gulhina. It's a floral. It's a beautiful floral composition. Gulhina. It's incorrectly written here. It's Hina must be written with the I letter. So Julia has it on her hand. About 4-hour dry down, and on our paper strips these fragrances are about 3 days, and it smells quite strong.
Yes, on blotter smells quite strong still, and on my arm I have to say that it's almost disappeared. I still get a little bit of the smell. I can't say that it's not long lasting. I don't get a lot of sillage here, but I also have to mention that my skin evaporates a lot of fragrances quickly, quicker than on my neck. That's why I love spraying fragrances on my neck or other parts of my body.
On my skin it lasted over 15 hours.
Right now it's a very sweet smell. Basically it's a floral composition. It's a modern, fresh and floral take on one of the most gorgeous yet misunderstood Indian attars called Mehendi Attar, I guess Mehendi maybe Attar. That is focused on white henna flowers. Top notes bergamot and magnolia. Heart notes are henna flowers, rose and jasmine distilled in a base of white musk, and base notes sandalwood. So here I have interesting emotions about this fragrance. I have to say that I really like this fragrance. I think it's the most wearable fragrance in this collection, in my opinion.
I agree with Julia.
And I don't think what I have to say next is going to touch any of you guys, but I did have a very deep associations from my childhood, because the first time when we sprayed this on a blotter, I was like, I have smelled this before, and it reminds me of a fragrance that I had in my childhood. And where we live in Latvia, we have this brand called Dzintas. And they make a lot of different fragrances, and they were very, very popular in Soviet Union times. and
But many of them were kind of quite cheap smelling.
a lot of them were quite cheap smelling, but some of them were interesting smelling. And at that time, when I was little, I thought that they had some interesting compositions, and the price was great as well. So
for me, this fragrance doesn't smell cheap.
No, it doesn't
but
smell cheap.
It's not smelling very expensive too.
Yes. So I just had to say that it brings some memories from my childhood, and also I have a fragrance that Dmitry told me that it reminds him of, and I actually found the similarity as well. It's Innovable by Making of Cans. That fragrance is based on white flowers, and here we can smell a lot of white floral notes. And actually, I find that this is a beautiful composition, but I'm not sure if I would buy a full bottle of this fragrance, because I think I have more of a unique bouquets of flowers in my collection already.
Yeah, I find this composition very versatile, very pleasing, very mass appealing, if I would say. Yeah, it's beautiful smelling. It's 50-50 for me. It's kind of on 50% smells what I have smelled before, and 50% is something new for me.
Yeah.
I really like the smell, yeah, and longevity is great.
The smell is nice, and maybe actually it's one of the best projecting fragrances in this collection as well, because yesterday when Dmitry was wearing this fragrance and some other fragrances from this collection, I have smelled this one the first, because I've tried it before and I was like, okay, I can smell Gulhina right now the most. And yes, it's a beautiful smelling composition, and it's very versatile, and a lot of people will actually like it, I think, the most out of this collection. But I think men should be careful if they decide to blind buy this fragrance, because they might find that it's a little bit too feminine for them.
Yeah, I agree.
So for women, I think it's a good blind buy, because it's a no-brainer fragrance, so you can wear it anywhere. It's versatile, and I think it's very likable. Maybe you won't have this wow factor, and I have to say that this is not the typical Russian Adams fragrance. So you have to keep that in mind if you're waiting for some woody composition. It's not what you're going to get here.
And I would like to say that this fragrance is quite linear.
Yes.
It's a beautiful monolithic smell for me, from almost the same from start to dry down. But it smells very nice, and it costs $160 per bottle. I think the price is quite good. Yeah. But it doesn't smell like the most expensive fragrance from Russian Adam what we have smelled. The next one will be Al Majmua. It's a Shipra composition, Indian Shipra, I would say. Oh no, it's not it. I've picked up the next one. It's Al Majmua, and it's quite green, yeah.
Yep.
It contains green Indian vetiver called Ruhkus. A lot of oak moss in the base, so it's like a Shipra with a lot of green notes, and this soapy feeling to it. Yeah. Opening is quite bright, uplifting. Actually, I like the opening of this fragrance the most. It's Actually, I love the opening of this fragrance, but I don't like so much the dry down. But it's a good fragrance, I would say. It's a modern Shipra version of one of the most famous and challenging Indian attars. Al Majmua captures the essence of green, fresh herbal aura and uses several iconic Indian ingredients such as Ruhkus, it's Indian vetiver,
Cuda, pandanus flower.
Sandalwood and patchouli. In the top notes it has bergamot and blackcurrant. I don't get any blackcurrant in it from my nose, but definitely bergamot. In the opening it reminds me a little bit of one of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. It's Russian Mask 2 by Areej Le Doré. I think it's a fantastic chypre, one of my most favorite chypres that I have ever smelled. In the opening it has a touch of Russian Mask, but it dries down to completely different smell. The heart notes is traditional Attar Majmoa featuring green Ruchus vetiver, patchouli, kanam and pandanus flowers distilled in Indian sandalwood oil. And the base notes are cedar, oak moss and iris accord. So I get a lot of green vibe from this fragrance. It's uplifting, citrusy, it's very green, I would say, and the oak moss is very prominent in the dry down, and it's kind of not my favorite smell from this composition, this oak moss. Yeah, it has this old school soapy kind of, I don't know how to describe it, soapy vibe. Yeah, I have smelled a little bit something similar from Bortnikov. It's maybe Moss Cologne or his Chypres, Chypre du Nord, maybe a touch of Classica, but I like Classica more than this composition. I don't like Moss Cologne from Bortnikov. I think it's completely not for me. It reminds me of some bathroom cleaning tool. No, this
Products.
Yeah, products.
Yes, we have a very similar smelling bathroom cleaning product from our childhood, and I actually get the similarities, and we all agree when we smelled the fragrance that Dmitry is talking about. And
we're talking now about Moss Cologne
Moss
by
Cologne,
Bortnikov, yes.
Here,
this one smells way better than Moss Cologne.
I liked this fragrance first time we sprayed it on paper strip. From the beginning I said, wow, that's a chypre, that's definitely a chypre, and I find it as a quite nice fragrance, and I'm also getting mossy vibes, and I'm getting this soapy vibes, but to me the soap here is smelling actually quite good. But it's definitely not going to be the fragrance that I would buy from this collection. I think it's nice, but it's not something that I would like to wear myself.
I think it's a little bit more mature, yes. And do you smell it here from my arm? I've sprayed about 4 hours ago.
Yes, I do.
I think it's now very, very, very soft. It's like maybe like a skin scent more, yes?
Yeah.
The opening was quite powerful, and then it kind of gets moderate. I think it doesn't have the great sillage, yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of good fragrance, but I wouldn't buy a full bottle of it. And the next one is Malik Almotia. The scent is about beautiful jasmine. Motia is jasmine. Here's the name. We'll write the names of the compositions in description of the video. So it's very beautiful color. It has two types of jasmine. It has jasmine grandiflorum and jasmine sambac from India. Also sandalwood. Well, Malik Almoti is a heavy oriental twist on one of the most beautiful Indian jasmine attars called Attar Motia. The top notes are jasmine grandiflorum, blue lotus and davana. In the top notes we have, I smell a little bit more this fruity, maybe some weird floral smell. Maybe some when the fruits are fermented.
Yes, like fermented fruits. A little bit. We get a little bit of this cidery vibe. Maybe apple or pear cider kind of feeling. We both get it here, and but that's only in the beginning. Later on, this note goes away. and we can feel beautiful jasmine.
It transforms to beautiful, very heavy jasmine dominant scent, but it's not the typical jasmine that we are smelling in our country outside, and it doesn't remind us of jasmine that we have smelled in other jasmine compositions. Yeah, it's very unique for us, and I like it a lot. I think it smells natural, but a little bit more deep, maybe I would say, a little bit more deep and a little bit more indolic, maybe.
I've smelled jasmine that smells more indolic. To me, it's a softer kind of version. I really enjoy jasmine here.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
It's very
here.
natural
It's,
smell.
For us, it's very unusual and very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
In the hard notes, it has Motia, jasmine, Sambuca attar, based in sandalwood oil, wood from Pranchenburi province in Thailand. And in base notes, it has sandalwood, benzoin, parabalsam, and amber cord. And actually, after about 4 hours, the fragrance develops into this more woody kind of. I get a touch of wood from it, and it's kind of resinous, balsamic. I really like this fragrance. It reminds me of this base reminds me of some wood composition from, I don't remember which one, from Russian Adam or maybe even from Bortnikov. I think it's some fragrance from Bortnikov in the dry down, which I really love.
Right now I'm at the base of this fragrance, and it's been sitting on my arm for a little over 4 hours. And the jasmine is gone already, and what I'm getting here now are sweet pea flowers. I actually really love the smell of these flowers. These are one of my favorite summer flowers. And yeah, that's what I'm getting, and I'm not really getting the oud that Dmitry is talking about. Here on my arm, it's very light and sweet and floral with some woody base, but...
it has woody base with a touch of oud and some resins for me.
Yeah, so I guess it's different for us. Maybe our skin types are too different, or maybe our noses are getting different notes. But here,
but definitely it's a jasmine composition. If you love jasmine, then we recommend to try it. It costs $260. I don't remember we said about Al Majmua the cost or not. It costs $190. So, and longevity is very good, over 12 hours on my skin for Malik Al Motia. The next one will be Mysore Incenza. Where you are, little baby. Mysore Incenza. It has this beautiful color. Also, this fragrance is about frankincense, Mysore sandalwood, and rose for me, and a touch of ambergris in the base. When I first sprayed it on a blotter, I was kind of very impressed. It evokes a lot of feelings in my head, and I would say it's very unique fragrance.
I just have to quickly say that this was the first. We were sampling these fragrances as we're telling you now in that order. And when we sprayed this one, we were like, yes, this smells like something that Russian Adam could create. Whereas all of the other fragrances, we couldn't say that instantly. So this was the first one. Yeah, that's more of what we are used to.
But it smells also completely different from Russian Adam's previous work. But I get the art in this composition, yeah. I get the creativity. I would say it's not for everyone, definitely, but maybe you'll really love it, or maybe you will find some parts of it that you really hate. Maybe also, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I love the opening. And then it's drying down. In the opening it was smoky, incensey rose, very beautiful rose in here. It has also jasmine, but I don't get jasmine too much. and it dries down to this also smoky incense with some kind of, I don't know how to explain it, with some weirdness in it. Maybe from ambergris. It has some touch of animalic notes in here, and I get some associations with something from the very long times ago, maybe thousands of years. I don't know. It's kind of very artistic fragrance. I don't get too much sandalwood in the opening and in the heart of the composition. For me, it's the most dominant. It's the incense, and with this strange accords around it.
My husband tried all of these fragrances, and when he smelled this one, he said that it's a scary one. So that's the associations he got. And yeah, we can kind of see where he's coming from. But to me, I don't see anything that's too off-putting here. I actually really enjoyed it from the start. But then after a while, I also wasn't sure what I feel about this fragrance. I haven't made up my mind just yet. Yeah.
So Mysore Incensa is aged Indian Mysore sandalwood focused incense composition with an alluring vintage feel, showcasing the most traditional way of perfuming using the smoke of frankincense and sandalwood. The top notes are smoky frankincense. I definitely get that. The heart notes is Indian rose. Yes, absolutely. Jasmine. Not getting too much of that. And a touch of natural ambergris. Yes, I get ambergris. And ambergris here is a little bit animalic for me, maybe, I guess. And in base notes is very expensive Mysore sandalwood distilled in the year 2000. And amber accord and natural fossil amber resin. So it's very unique. I think it's one of the most, I would say it's one of the most complete compositions from this collection for me. But not everyone will like this fragrance. It's a little bit challenging, I would say. It's like a very pleasant. It evokes a lot of emotion, but it's kind of challenging also at the same time. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely an interesting one. And the longevity was also good, over 12 hours. Yeah, all fragrances are in eau de parfum concentration. It's not the extracts as previous releases. Actually, I love more extracts from Russian Adam, yeah, for my personal taste. They are deeper, they are more like 3D compositions for me, yeah, and these are more airy. Russian Adam wanted to breathe them more, because these Indian attars are very dense, very powerful, some of them are very hard to wear.
I actually like the idea of EDP here. I think it's nice to experiment, and I think it's kind of good to create things that are new and maybe a bit unexpected.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
The next one, and Mysore Incensa costs $290 for a bottle, 48 milliliter bottle. The next one is Ambre de Coco. It's the darkest fragrance of them all, along with the next one, Ambre de Coco. As you might get from the name of the fragrance, it's about ambers and cacao, maybe, yeah. And I would say it's very powerful. In the opening, it's extremely powerful. Maybe the most powerful from them all, yeah. And the longevity is insane, over 24 hours. I don't know, maybe even more. It's the longest lasting of them all. Maybe one of the most challenging of them all, yeah. And it's very interesting. but in the very opening, I get. I'll tell you a little story. I have watched all the reviews on this collection that are available now on YouTube, and I like the most of them. A review of Peter from the channel Fragrance View. I think he's a very genuine man, and he told what he thinks, and I really appreciate that. I love his reviews. And he told that he gets in the opening this, maybe you'll tell it in English. He gets this like a urinal cake vibe from it, from the men's restroom. Yes?
Yeah, well, you know, it's not very appropriate for me to tell that because I haven't been to the men's restroom, and I'm not really sure what the deal is here about. But yes, I guess there is some urinal cake that's in the men's restroom. I guess Dmitry knows more about this, and I don't have any associations with that. I have no idea how it smells, so
and
sure.
When I sprayed the fragrance in the opening, I got a very rich, very powerful, beautiful opening, and then in a couple of minutes it has gotten this strange urinal cake vibe to it, yeah, in the opening. So I remembered Peter's feelings about the opening of this fragrance. So I agree with him, and it's a little bit disappointing for me that I get this vibe, because I really love the rest of the composition, yeah. But this note kind of disappears about, I don't know, in an hour maybe, plus minus. And then the composition for me is very beautiful. I get the peach note, peach accord from the composition. And I don't get too much cacao, but definitely there is a slight cacao feeling in it. In the heart notes, it has more than 50 various Indian spices and herbs distilled in a base of pure Indian sandalwood. I guess maybe this mix of this 50 various Indian spices and herbs with the peach in the opening gives this kind of weird vibe. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
And but I don't get too much spices in this composition. I don't know why. It's not very spicy in my...
It's because we can't distinct different notes. Maybe there is a mix, and it's kind of hard to tell what's exactly in there. But if I have to say a few words about this fragrance, I can just quickly tell you my opinion and what I feel. So in the beginning, I get a lot of cacao, and I actually smell the powder. And to me, cacao note is very, very prominent in the beginning. And I really, really liked this about this fragrance, and I think the opening is quite good. And as I don't have this experience with urinal cakes, and I have no idea how they smell like, to me it doesn't ruin the composition and doesn't ruin my experience. So I'm very open to this fragrance, and I really like the way it smells. So it starts with cacao for me, and right now I am at the base of this fragrance, and after 4+ hours, I think we're getting even closer to 5 hours now. And to me right now it smells of peach that is kind of like canned peach, or maybe boozy peach. It's not a fresh peach. It's not something that you eat right away from the market. It's a peach that is a little bit playful. It's been sitting maybe in some booze for a while. So I get some sweetness. To me right now it's a little bit sweet, boozy peach. That's what I'm getting. It's a very pleasant smell. There is nothing off-putting for me here, and I think it's actually one of my favorite fragrances from this collection.
Yeah, I agree with Julia. It's also one of my very favorite fragrances in this collection, except for the for the very opening of the composition. I would love to have a bottle of this fragrance if I get past this first hour, maybe, yeah. And in the base it has a touch of ambergris, Indian oud, oak moss, and amber accord. And as Russian Adam said in his video, this fragrance also remind me of my favorite fragrance of Russian Adam. It's I have Ottoman Empire 3. Maybe you have different versions, but it has that DNA of Ottoman Empire in the base of the composition, because that's why I really like this fragrance overall. But the opening is quite weird for me. I don't know. And
it costs $360.
$360, and it's the most popular, complex, and intense Indian attar, known as Amber Shamama. And Russian Adam said in his video that it's the most challenging attar, this Amber Shamama. It's transformed into a modern, sophisticated, spicy sandal and oud chypre perfume composition. Yeah, it has chypre elements in it, it has oriental, it's like a beautiful mix of these styles, and it's a good composition overall. And for women, I don't think they will get any bad associations with this fragrance. And as Peter told, he sprayed on his mother and she really loved it, and on her skin it wasn't any urinal cake vibe at all. And
I think I gave you a sniff on my arm and you still smelled the same as you did.
A little bit less urinal cake on Julia's skin, it is.
Yeah, but still he said that he could still smell it. Well, to me I don't smell it because I don't know the smell of it. So,
well,
yeah,
definitely we'll definitely try this fragrance before you buy, especially for men. Yeah. But I think it's a very unisex composition.
Yeah, definitely.
As my source in Senza also. And the next one is Beauty and the Beast. I would say it's also a very unisex composition. It's about the most costly Indian ingredients. It's rose and oud, and there are only three notes, I would say. Here's the name of the fragrance, very dark juice, and in the top, yeah, smells beautiful. In the top it has Indian rose, in the heart of the composition it has French cacao, and in the base it has oud, which was distilled in India in the rose water, and it has other Indian ouds in the base of the composition. So I will read you the description. It's the most luxurious and costly natural ingredients of Indian perfumery, namely rose and oud, presented in perfectly harmonious and classic composition. Yeah, that's it. In the very beginning, I can smell a lot of cacao with oud for the first minute maybe, and then the oud becomes more prominent, more animalic, I would say. For the first couple of minutes it is very challenging, I would say. It smells like animal skin, or maybe, I don't know, very challenging for my nose, a couple of minutes of the opening, except for this cacao note, which I love. And then it transforms into a beautiful rose. The rose becomes more prominent. It's very bright, uplifting, very, very delicious. It has a lemony touches from it, like in a type rose, which is the most expensive rose in the world. It has this beautiful aspect. It has greenness in it. I love the rose in this composition. It's amazing. It smells very natural. Yeah.
I also really love the smell of the rose here. To me, it's a very green rose. It's sour. citrusy rose, and it makes me salivate. So yeah, I enjoy the rose here, but I have to say that although I really like the scent, and to me I don't feel anything off-putting in this scent either. I think it's a very good one, but I have to say that it's nothing new for me, as I've smelled a similar rose in Bortnikov's Triad, and it's also beautifully done there. And actually in the beginning, I remember when we first sprayed this fragrance, Dmitry said that he gets this medicinal note that oud from Kurjan has, and I agree with that as well, just in the beginning.
A touch of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes away, but overall it's I'd say that it's a very beautiful rosewood composition. If you're a rosewood lover, then definitely check this fragrance out. But again, if you have other fragrances from maybe Bortnikov or Areej Le Doré, you might find that you have smelled something similar before, and yeah.
And I would add that the rose dominates in this composition for maybe 3 to 4 hours. Then oud is coming back. It becomes more prominent, but the oud is not shy in this composition. So it's kind of 50-50, rose with oud. And after 3 to 4 hours, I get this chocolatey nuance in this composition, which is very lovely. I really love this scent. Yeah, and the dry down also beautiful, but I wish it has in extrait version. Yeah, for me, because it doesn't last too long. I wanted this to last maybe some 24 hours, but it lasts about, I don't know, maximum 12 hours on my skin. Yeah, actually Gulhina lasted more.
It's one of the strongest.
Yeah, Gulhina lasted more than Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. And also Ambre de Coco is a beast of longevity.
Beauty and the Beast's price is $390. It's the most expensive one from this collection.
Yes, but if you already have very beautiful natural wood and roses, maybe it will be kind of a little bit redundant for you. I don't know. Definitely try it before buying.
Yeah.
I have a Triad from Bortnikov, Oud Maximus, and I don't know if I'll buy this Beauty and the Beast, but I think it's very good composition. I really love it, but I don't know if I need both Triad and this one.
Yeah.
I'll test them side by side and decide for myself would I buy Beauty and the Beast, but it's on my buy list by now. I think it deserves it. Also, Ambre de Coco is very interesting, I find, and Maestro Incense is very artistic. Yeah, and this beautiful floral compositions I also really like.
I have to say that my favorites are Gulhina, Malik Almotia, Ambre de Coco, and Beauty and the Beast. These are the 4 that I enjoyed the most from this collection. And if I had to choose only 2, I think I'd go for Malik Almotia and Ambre de Coco.
Yeah, beautiful choice. So I wanted to add that Russian Adam and Dmitry Bortnikov will have their collaboration, their new fragrance. I'm very excited about that. I believe it will be in the next year, maybe in the beginning of the next year. So these two men are very good at distilling goods, very good at natural oud floral compositions. So I'm really excited to try their new release. And I wanted also to mention about delivery, some words in the end of the video, because it's not a very pleasant part. So in Areej Le Doré shipping information, they were written to me, "Hello, Dmitry, your order has been shipped by express courier, yeah, from Netherlands to Latvia, and this express courier is DHL parcel. It's not DHL Express. DHL parcel comes from 2 to 3 weeks to our country. It's very slow. DHL Express is very fast delivery, and they are delivering for your house, yeah, for your home. But DHL parcel actually gives the parcel to their other company, which is in our country. It's called Itella, I don't know how in English, and Itella never has my phone number. Yeah, and actually in the Areej Le Doré shipping information there is my name, address and phone. Yeah, there is written phone, and I don't know why DHL and Itella don't have my phone. I'm wondering for 2 years now why they don't have my phones. With every single time I buy Areej Le Doré fragrance, they don't have my phone, these delivery companies, and I need to write them to phone and so on. It's kind of not good experience, but they were delivering to my house every time. Not in this case. From this year, as I understood, DHL and Itella in Latvia are delivering only to Smart Post packomats. Yeah, and it's kind of upsets me, and I was driving to this packomat by my car to pick up this sample set. It's, I don't know, it costs $23, and for example, we are buying a lot of fragrances on other website in Netherlands. They have free shipping with orders over 80 euros, absolutely free shipping. They always have my phone number, these delivery companies, and they deliver to the home. Yeah.
By word packomat, I think Dmitry means this place where they drop the post. So there is an area where they leave the parcel, and you have to pick it up. They give you the code, and you pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, in that other company from Netherlands, the parcels also are coming about 1.5 to 2 weeks, but it's a bit faster than the DHL parcel. And it costs $23 with Areej Le Doré. And also we have ordered a purchase from Sergio's website from Italy. It was shipped to Finland and then to Latvia, to our home, in 2 working days. 2 working days, and the cost was 19 euros. Actually, about $20 now. So in 2 working days, yeah. So we don't know what's happening with this DHL parcel delivery. It's not an express courier, and maybe we'll get some information about that from Russian Adam team. Why they think that it's express courier? So it's not. And but we have to pay some money for this delivery, as other companies deliver for free from Netherlands.
Yeah, just a little rant about the delivery, because you're paying for a product and you're expecting exactly what you're paying for, and it's always been something else, and they were always forgetting to write Dmitry's number for some reason, so he had to go through all of this hassle filling out the documents again, and they were saying that you weren't at home. So a lot of hassle there, And this time he decided to tell everyone about this because he had to drive somewhere else to pick up the parcel, which wasn't very convenient. So yeah, we hope we'll get some answers. Maybe there is a reason behind that, or maybe they just should call their delivery way a little bit different, so that you know exactly what you're paying for and you know exactly how it's going to happen, because you're expecting something else.
Yeah, because in our country it causes many problems to people that are buying for the first time with this DHL parcel and Itella, and they are not knowing what to do. They are not knowing why they haven't received their parcel and so on. So
yeah, and
I know it now, but I'm a little bit upset with this whole.
And generally, Itella is not a very customer-friendly company. Let's put it that way, because they're taking a lot of time to reply. They're not picking their phones up, and you communicate with them by emails, and it takes a lot of time. So yeah. That's a little rant, but still we want to thank Areej and Adam for creating beautiful fragrances, and we think that it's cool to experiment with a lot of different directions, and it was a very nice experience for us. We really enjoyed this sample set. We found all of these fragrances quite beautiful and interesting. And yes, thank you, Areej and Adam, if you're ever watching us. We don't know if you do. And to you guys, we want to thank you for watching us as well. And we hope that this review was useful for you. We hope that you found some interesting information for you. And we hope that we helped you to decide on which fragrance you might lean to. Or maybe you thought, okay, I'm not sure, I might order a sample set before. So yeah. We hope you've had a good time with us, and we wish you an amazing day. Goodbye.
Thank you, bye.